Albinger ABC News.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KBNU.
KBNU News Time is 4:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Northern Steel Buildings. A 22-year-old Logan man is pleaded guilty to filming multiple teenagers using the bathroom and downloading child pornography. Brigham Schiss accepted a plea deal and will now wait to be sentenced August 22nd. Schiss appeared in First District Court Monday morning. He pleaded guilty to 7 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, a second-degree felony, possession of a firearm by a restricted person, a third-degree felony, and 11 misdemeanors for voyeurism, lewdness, propelling a bodily substance, and possession or use of a controlled substance. On March 28th, agents with the Cash-Rich Drug Task Force served a search warrant to Schiss's residence. They seized a cell phone from his bedroom as part of a drug investigation. While searching the phone, police found evidence of sexual exploitation of a minor. They obtained another search warrant to extend their scope of the search and seize more electronics from his residence. As police searched the phone further, they found 9 videos of voyeurism. The videos appeared to be made using a secret recording device in the home's bathroom. They showed 3 different 15 or 16-year-old girls and boys changing and showering. KBNU News Time is 4:06. KBNU weather for tonight. Partly cloudy skies, then mostly cloudy. Slight chance of rain showers after midnight, low in the lower 60s. Partly cloudy, then clearing. High temperature in the mid-90s on Friday. Saturday, upper 90s for the high. It's 92 right now at KBNU. KBNU weather brought to you by Whole Tree Care. By now, your trees and shrubs have new growth everywhere. If your yard is out of control, call Whole Tree Care. They trim, shape, and remove trees and shrubs and clean it up as well. Ask about their radio discount when you call Whole Tree Care 760-6587.
A building is just a building until it's your building. It's where you work, where you create, where you store your valuable equipment. You take pride in your building, so make sure it's built right and built to last. Northern Steel Buildings will guide you from concept to construction. For your commercial, agricultural, or industrial steel building, visit northernsteelbuilding.com to see their quality work or call 435-677-7300. Northern Steel Buildings. Value from concept to construction.
KBNU News Time is 4:07. A Utah woman avoided serious injuries after a metal piece described as a possible large mower blade flew into her windshield in Salt Lake City. The Utah Highway Patrol posted photos of a close call involving a piece of metal road debris. The incident happened Wednesday on I-215. The Utah Highway Patrol estimates troopers handle about 75 calls of road debris every day. Earlier this year, a Cache Valley man was killed when road debris flew through his windshield on I-15 in Weber County. Last year, 3 people died in a crash in Kaysville that authorities say was the result of road debris. In 2020, a driver was killed while swerving to avoid a ladder on SR 201 in West Valley City. Troopers in Utah handled more than 30,000 calls of road debris in 2020. And a state lawmaker is bringing back a bill to eliminate the state portion of the sales tax on groceries. Representative Judy Weeks-Rohner of West Valley City argues the bill is even more necessary now than it was when she attempted to get it through the legislature earlier this year. Representative Weeks-Rohner said people are feeling the impacts of inflation, and eliminating Utah's 1.75% portion of the sales tax on groceries would help. She is not proposing to eliminate local sales tax options. Representative Weeks-Rohner and Representative Rosemary Lesser, a Democrat from Ogden, both proposed bills to eliminate the state sales tax on groceries in the 2022 legislative session. Despite support from low-income advocates, neither bill got a hearing, but the legislature did advance income tax cuts. House Speaker Brad Wilson's office said they had no comment on Representative Weeks-Rohner's bill file. In the past, he has signaled support for the concept with other budgetary changes, but she said she has already met with Senate Republican leaders in an effort to get some support. KVNU News Time is 4:10. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
Updates every 30 minutes and breaking news as it happens. News Talk KVNU, your number one radio station for news and talk.
Ah, that's better. Trade in the stresses of building a new home for relaxation. Visionary Homes Priority is giving you a stress-free building experience. Named the best home builder in northern Utah, Visionary Homes team will guide you seamlessly through the home building process. Call today, 435-228-4702, or visit visionaryhomes.com to learn more about upcoming communities in Nibley, Logan, and Smithfield. Visionary Homes, built for living, built for you.
With rising gas prices, there's never been a better time than now to go electric. Come to Murdoch Volkswagen and see what all the hype is about when you test drive the new 2022 ID4. With a range of just under 300 miles, the ID4 has all the latest technology, including a digital dash, remote access, adaptive cruise, and blind spot monitoring. Come in and take a test drive and reserve your brand new electric ID4 today. When you walk through our doors, you feel like family. At Murdoch Volkswagen in Logan or online at murdochvw.com.
Call 866-628-3065 or see dealer for complete details. Offer expires 7/31/22.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
This is Logan City Police Chief Gary Jensen. Scammers are continuing to target people in the Cache Valley. Fraudsters often threaten with arrest, withholding medical care for loved ones, or offer to sell or purchase items at discounted or inflated prices. Many of these scams often involve third-party gift cards or other money-exchanging services. If you receive an offer or are threatened like this with immediate punishment unless you comply, hang up and call the police to report it. Please do not become a victim.
For the people.
We are waiting with bated breath for news from the Cache Republican Party meeting an executive committee tonight.
With Jason Williams.
And I'm really excited about this next segment. We have two guests here in studio. We're going to talk about something that we've talked about many times here on the show, but from a bit of a different angle.
Weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People. It is Thursday. I almost said January. July 14th. Charlie's over there.
It'll be a January to remember.
I think my brain is just wishing for just a little January temperature just for an hour. I don't want to. Well, no, I don't want to kill all the plants. Anyway. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Quite a lot going on in politics today. We've got plenty to talk about. We also have Ryan Smith, who is joining us in hour 2. He's hoping to fire up and get active again, the USU College Republicans group. So we'll talk about the plans he has and just kind of pick the brains of Gen Zer. We'll have him here in the studio. Kicking things off here, though, Politics Free, first hour of today's show. Every Thursday at 4 o'clock, our friend Charlie Schill joins us. He writes for CacheValleyDaily.com. You can read his work there each and every day. News stories, theater reviews, and more. And he takes an hour out of his schedule each week to sit down here in the studio with us and talk theater, arts, entertainment, and everything in between here in Cache Valley. And Charlie, welcome. I know we talked a bit before the show started. I know you've got a late night tonight ahead of you.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got you before this night as opposed to tomorrow afternoon when people could just listen to you sleep.
Jason's talking about the Festival Opera's cabaret show tonight at Cafe Sabor, and it starts at 11, and it doesn't stop for a while.
That's right. Is there an official end time on this, or is it kind of open-ended?
It's kind of open-ended.
That's fun, though.
Yeah.
This is, I like that they do this because it's an opportunity to see the talent that is required. Imagine what these performers are in and the talent they have to have gotten those roles, and then they're just kind of unleashed tonight.
The other night, I went to the Center Street celebration, which the Festival Opera was very involved in. And they brought out a bunch of singers, and they performed, and they were amazing to watch. And but I didn't recognize any of their names. Kara Goodrich, who plays in Carmen, was among the singers, but she was the only one I recognized. So I called Gary Griffin out on it, and I said, "Hey, did you bring in a bunch of ringers to do this show?" He says, "No, they're in the chorus." The chorus. These people are singing opera and amazingly performing.
But they're
they're in the chorus. Talk about an embarrassment of riches.
That is, if you think about that, to be, one of many in the chorus, and yet to have that talent, it kind of speaks to the talent pool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's available for this.
But you got to think about this. When Michael Ballum walks off the stage to go to be questioned by the Inquisition at the end of Man of La Mancha, the chorus blows the roof off of the theater. I mean, it's just thunderous.
It's chills, goosebumps, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the reasons people, I talked to a person recently. We just discussed the Festival Opera, and so it came up in a conversation with a friend, and she was telling me that she likes to go when she has the opportunity to, but she doesn't know. She's been to several before in which she doesn't know the plot. She doesn't know and obviously if they're sung in the native Italian sometimes, then hard to follow. And she said she doesn't care. She said you pick enough of the story up from the program,
and from the super titles that they run above.
She said it's enough, and she said I don't care. She says it could be a story about two people going grocery shopping, but if they're singing like that, I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, now let's be serious. The Festival Opera is going to do Lohengrin next year.
Really?
That's a Wagner opera.
Now that one's famous for being difficult, right? Isn't that? I'm trying.
Difficult? That's difficult.
I remember reading this. This is a very, very hard to perform opera.
Well,
wow.
Wagner specialized in those.
Sure. That was kind of his thing, right?
Oh yeah. But
wow, that is interesting.
Operas in French, yeah. Operas in Italian, yeah. Maybe operas in Spanish, yeah. I can't think of any, but
it would work.
German. German kind of sounds like a trash can falling down a flight of stairs. And Russian, oh my God.
I have heard a Russian opera, and I personally
Boris Godunov.
Yeah. I personally found it very difficult.
Oh my God.
I actually, and what's interesting to me, I actually think Russian spoken is kind of fun to listen to. I don't understand it. I don't, but I've heard people speaking Russian, and I think that what a cool language. But sung, I did not enjoy it. Not a fan. It doesn't. It's not a pleasant language.
German and Russian opera is definitely an acquired taste.
Sure. I do, though, enjoy. This is one of my favorite things about Wagner. The plots. He was kind of the Marvel movies guy of the. I mean, these are action stories. Yeah. So I do enjoy that.
Do you want to hear a story about Wagner?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm over in Germany in the 1980s in the Army, and I'm married to a very nice girl who, at the time, thought that she spoke German much better than she did. So she decides that we're going to go watch an opera. So she buys tickets for a Wagner opera. And it's way up in the mountains someplace. And we drive up there. And have you ever heard of The Ring?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Wagner's version of The Lord of the Rings, basically.
Yeah. And it's really long.
It's like, well, actually, there's a prologue, and then there's a Act 1. It's like 4 operas. Okay? And we have, I looked at the tickets, and I thought, wow, we paid a lot for that opera. Well, no, we paid a lot for 4 operas to be performed on consecutive evenings. While you're sitting on your butt on a cold mountain.
An experience,
the
but
music is wonderful. The singing is not quite what I had in mind, but 4 operas?
Sure.
The whole Ring? Oh my God.
That is how so this is 4 that most of us were exposed to that by those Warner Brothers
cartoons. Yes.
Yeah. Kill the Wabbit. But this is that would be an experience. I don't know if I would use the word pleasant or but it would be really memorable sitting on outside on a mountainside.
Yeah.
4 nights in a row.
4 nights in a row.
Wow. That would be.
Try looking for a hotel room somewhere in the mountains after you've sat through the first episode of this thing.
Knowing you've got 3 more ahead of you.
You've got 3 more ahead of you. And I kept saying, okay, we can go home. We don't need to. Oh, no, we have to watch these.
We have to see this.
Eek.
We got the gist, right? Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio, talking arts, entertainment, theater, and more here in Cache Valley. Again, some news from Charlie there that Wagner will be a part of the lineup for the Festival Opera next year. They've got quite a lineup this year. They had their big opening social event on Center Street this week, closing down the street there for an evening. They are also, some of the cast and performers will be at the cabaret event at Cafe Sabor tonight, which I believe that's sold out. I shouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Is it okay?
Oh, yeah.
This is a very limited ticketing event.
There's another performance of this next Thursday.
Okay, so still time to get tickets to that. But this evening, those tickets are gone, and a fun event from those I've spoken to who have been. Charlie will be with us through the hour. If you want to join us, 753-5868. We'll be back with more right after this.
With inflation at record highs, why buy new if you can repair your current machine? Daryl's Appliances factory-trained technicians spend hundreds of hours in training each year to ensure your appliance is repaired right the first time. You can have peace of mind. They offer no-risk service, meaning if you want to purchase new instead of repair, you can apply up to $95 of your service call towards an appliance purchase. See store for details. Daryl's West on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
Adams Wealth Advisors is the gold winner for financial planning in the Best of Northern Utah competition. Thank you for your vote. Putting clients first under any circumstance will bring peace of mind when working with Adams Wealth Advisors.
This is Craig Adams. At Adams Wealth Advisors, we are here to help you receive peace of mind whether you've done a lot of planning or a little planning. Count on our team at Adams Wealth Advisors for honesty, professionalism, and integrity.
Visit adamswealthadvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with an advisor today. Please see adamswealthadvisors.com for more information on these recent awards.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio. Charlie writes for CashValleyDaily.com, where you can read his work each and every day. Takes an hour out of his Thursday afternoons for us here, though, to talk theater and entertainment here in Cache Valley. We've been talking a little bit about the Utah Festival Opera, including some news about their lineup next year, some of the performances you can expect. They have a really impressive calendar for this year's Festival Opera. I've heard from more people just excitement about the options, even those who only plan to see one show. Mm-hmm. Just very excited at the choices. It's never the Festival Opera never really phones it in. You know, there's never. Do you remember a year where it was just like, really, these are our choices? No. There's always at least a couple that are out of the park.
Last year they were functioning with their hands tied behind their backs.
Sure.
They had to do small cast, and that's not what they normally do. They like big, flashy shows. And they've got big, flashy shows this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Carmen is amazing. They've got, they brought in a woman from North Carolina. She's a professor at the University of North Carolina. But anyway, she's made a life out of performing Carmen. Mm. And oh, is she good. Just Audrey Babcock is her name, and she is fierce, and her voice is extraordinary. It's a great show.
That's very cool. Carmen is probably one of the most well known of the classic operas.
Yeah.
But it's never disappointing to see. I've never seen a bad rendition of. Sorry, I'm a little distracted because it's a great question from a listener, something that I've never thought to throw out there myself. But a listener said, just curious. I know with regular performances from local theater groups, there is not really a dress code, just theater etiquette. You know, you don't, flip-flops may be frowned on, things like that. Even though they'd let you in, it's, rude. Is there a dress code for Festival Opera performances?
In a word, no.
No.
You can go in as relaxed as you want to be.
Sure.
Michael Ballum is prancing around in a tuxedo every night.
Sure.
I think he sleeps in the thing.
It's his formal attire for the few weeks of the summer each year.
The temperature outside is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So, you get a mixture of attire that, there will be women in dresses and that sort of thing, accompanied by their husband who's in shorts.
Sure.
Like me.
Because it's really warm.
So, no, you can come as comfortable as you'd like.
Okay. That's a great question from a listener messaging in there. I'd never thought to address that on the show. But, when you hear opera, you think tuxedos, or at least shirt and tie, right? But they're not that stuffy.
We've lost all that.
That's right.
20 years ago, people put on a shirt and tie to go to the movies.
That's right.
They don't anymore.
No. It was, I think we're still enforcing the hats off at the dinner table out in public thing mostly. But, no, I see a lot of that even. But, that's a great question because there is, and that's interesting to have it expressed that way by the listener because there is the unwritten etiquette of, Pickleville's one thing. Pickleville swim trunks and flip-flops are a staple because a lot of people come off the lake and go see a show. But when you head to the theater, if you're able to, at least put shoes on. That's my personal ethical boundary with attire. But it's pretty relaxed. So
and it needs to be, and nobody looks down their nose at you no matter what you're wearing.
Sure, that's a great question. Thank you. So. Sorry, we interrupted. You were just wrapping up Carmen, right? You said Carmen was amazing.
Carmen is great. The show's got, a huge chorus of cigarette girls and factory workers.
Oh yeah,
and they are rowdy and rambunctious. The story plays out beautifully, and of course it ends with, you expected a neat, happy ending in an opera?
It's frowned upon.
Carmen gets killed, but, there's a moral in the story somewhere, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I was trying to remember myself. There's a message, but I usually get caught up in. It's tragic in a lot of ways, the story, but
of course,
and that is usually what sweeps me up anytime I've been exposed
to it.
But
what they're playing with now is Carmen is she's tempestuous, she's free, she wants to be able to drift from one man to another. That's got a thematic, topical.
Oh yeah.
Sort of now, Don Jose comes off as your typical overbearing, possessive, jealous husband.
Yeah. That's interesting to me because it's. This sounds disparaging, and I don't mean it. I mean it as a compliment, but it's really kind of, in a lot of ways, almost a cliche story. That's been done a million times different ways. Mm-hmm. But there's something about the story of Carmen that you get swept into it pretty fast when you see this.
Yeah.
So, and then now they're doing, and I forget the dates you've told me, but they're doing a not behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah.
That's later in the month.
I don't have that information, but she'll be performing with a classical guitarist.
Oh, okay.
And again, this is Audrey Babcock, and she's amazing.
That's very cool. I'm curious to see that, to see where they go beyond all of this, as the title suggests, beyond Carmen. July 26th, I found it finally. But this is fun to be able to talk about this because the Utah Festival Opera has a lineup that we could spend an hour on each planned show. It will try not to do that, but it's definitely possible. On the other side, we've got plenty to talk about outside of the Festival Opera even, but for those who haven't Charlie has a couple of great reviews up at CashValleyDaily.com since we last spoke, including some talk of one of the most drawing events, I think, of the year for real theater fans and music fans, the Vasco Call Spotlight as well. I've linked to them both on our Facebook page, but Charlie's here in the studio with us. You're welcome to join us, 753-5868, if you have a comment or a question. And we'll be back right after Bill's News here on KVNU Logan.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 4:35, and the news is brought to you by Whole Tree Care. A 35-year-old Logan man has admitted to molesting and raping 2 young girls while babysitting them at his home. Nelson Neves accepted a plea deal that will likely send him to prison. Neves was in First District Court Monday afternoon, 1 month before a 4-day trial was set to begin. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of aggravated sexual abuse of a child, a first-degree felony. Defense attorney Michael McGinnis explained as part of the plea deal, prosecutors agreed to recommend Neves be ordered to serve 10 years to life in prison at the time of sentencing. 2 remaining charges were also dropped. Judge Thomas Wilmore accepted Neves' plea deal and scheduled sentencing for August 22nd. He has been in jail since being arrested December 8th, 2020, and he's being held without bail. Evacuation orders have been lifted for those affected by the Halfway Hill fire in the Virginia Hills subdivision near Fillmore. According to Utah Fire, the fire has reached 11,637 acres and was 10% contained as of last night. Evacuations for the fire had been in place since the start of the fire on July 8th. Fire crews said they saw gusty winds up to 35 miles per hour on Tuesday afternoon, along with a trace of precipitation. On Sunday, the Millard County Sheriff's Office announced 4 arrests of individuals believed to have started it after leaving a campfire unattended. No damage to recreation sites had been reported. And the Idaho Republican Party will consider 31 resolutions at its 3-day convention, including one already adopted by Texas Republicans, that President Joe Biden is not the legitimate leader of the country. Another calls for not recognizing imaginary identities, a resolution aimed at transgender people. Multiple resolutions at the convention that begins Thursday invoke voting. One resolution calls for changing Idaho's system for statewide elections into a national-style electoral college, a process that sometimes leads to candidates winning without receiving the most votes. KVNU News Time is 4:37.
My guy is so amazing. He sits on the couch and plays video games. And sometimes he smashes 4 slices of bread into a big ball and stuffs it into his mouth. Other guys mow their lawn or power wash the patio. Not Dan. He likes to cuddle in front of the TV and watch pro wrestling.
Men, rest assured you'll never meet a woman like this. But kudos to you. You called Whole Tree Care to help shape your shrubs and trim your overgrown trees. Call 760-6587 and ask for the radio discount. 760-6587.
KVNU weather for tonight, partly cloudy, then mostly cloudy, low in the lower 60s. A slight chance of rain showers Friday morning, then a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon, partly cloudy, mid-90s for the high. Sunny and upper 90s on Saturday. It's been to 93. It's 92 right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, Cache Valley's most trusted name in hearing aid technology. Call 753-HEAR, 753-HEAR. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
This is Cheryl, bringing you the daily financial market report on behalf of Jeff Olson and Edward Jones. Markets stabilized on the day. Equity markets ended the day well off session lows, as the NASDAQ ended modestly higher after being down over 1.5% earlier in the day. The financials, energy, and materials were the biggest laggards of the day, driven lower in part by weaker than expected bank earnings. Meanwhile, the U.S. dollar strength continues, with the DXY dollar index hitting a new high for the year, now close to $109. The dollar has been one of the few assets that has seen positive returns this year as the flight to safety trade in the currency continues and as the Federal Reserve front-loads rate hikes. Finally, the VIX volatility index moved lower today to 26 levels, still well below the highs it reached around 37 levels earlier this year, indicating that markets are not yet showing signs of panic, and the sell-off thus far remains orderly. U.S. equities closed lower today. The Dow closed down 143 points at 30,630. The NASDAQ closed at 4 points at 11,251. The S&P 500 closed down 11 points at 3,790. In stocks of local interest, Nucor was down 1.34 to 108.37. Thermo Fisher was up 2.48 to 525.63. Walmart was up 2.45 to 127.82. Apple was up 2.98 to 148.47. Procter & Gamble was down 0.43 to 145.27. Autoliv was down 1.33 to 72.35. Northrop Grumman was down 6.21 to 458.99. Amazon was up 0.23 to 110.63. This has been today's financial market report, brought to you on behalf of Edward Jones, member SIPC, and financial advisor Jeff Olson, serving individual investors with personalized attention and financial advice at 580 North Main in Logan. If you would like additional information, please contact our branch office at 435-787-8170. Daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
Wow, your cars look so shiny.
Thanks. I've been taking them to Green Gorilla Car Wash. Thanks to their new ceramic application, my cars have never had such a glossy shine.
Sounds expensive.
You haven't heard about their sale? Right now, their Jungle membership with ceramic coating is half off for every vehicle. Instead of $30 per month, I'm only paying $14.99 from now until September.
That's such a great price.
I know, and my half-price membership is good at both Green Gorilla locations in the Valley.
I better head to Green Gorilla now.
As the summer's war against weeds and pests rages on, a new bug threat starts hopping around, destroying garden plants and flowers. Luckily, you are ready for them with Logan Extermination's Perimeter Grasshopper Control. It's like a minefield for the minute menace.
Good job, men. Another bug bites the dirt. Let's regroup before the next wave hits.
They do what they are trained to do. Strike terror into termites, bash the bed bugs, and cook the cockroaches. Remember the brave men and women at Logan Extermination. Call 752-8450.
Treatment areas vary. Call for a quote today.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio. He is here every Thursday at 4 to talk to us about theater in Cache Valley, but you can read his work between Thursdays each and every day at CacheValleyDaily.com. He's got a couple of reviews up right now. It's been a pretty busy week. We had a question from a listener, and I'll just quickly answer this, not spend too much time on it, but a listener said they'd heard a rumor about a high school student production of Les Miserables as part of the Utah Festival Opera season. There is a date set for this, right?
They are going to do that. What they've got is the Festival Opera hosts a Utah High School Theater Awards.
Okay.
And they pick out determine who wins. Best musical, best individual performer, best. Whatever. The awards kind of follow the Tony Awards.
Okay.
And these are high school kids, and they are going to perform a student edition of Les Mis.
That's fun.
And the other night, they had the winner of the girls category, and the boy came in and sang Let Him Live from Les Mis.
Oh, sure.
And he blew our doors off.
Really?
He was really good.
That's impressive at the high school age.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
I think it's on the 13th of August or something like that.
Yeah, I'm seeing 2 shows here, 13th and 20th.
Yeah.
Of August. So that's a ways off, but yeah. So a listener wanted clarification. They wanted to know how the Utah Festival Opera was involved in this, but they're basically the hosts.
They're hosting it.
/judges.
What happens is they bring in all the kids who performed for the High School Musical Awards and audition them, place them in the show, and then rehearse the show for them.
Okay. That's very cool.
It's going to be fun.
It's interesting. I like that. All right. Thank you for the question again from listeners on that. And I can't remember where we were headed next.
Let's go to the shop around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
She Loves Me is the name of the musical. It's based on a movie. There was a 1940 movie with Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan. And it's a cute little story about a couple. There's a guy who works in a perfumery, a perfume shop in Budapest, and he has a secret pen pal that he writes letters to.
Oh, wow.
And what he doesn't know is that the girl in the shop, who he can't stand to cordially detests face to face, is his secret pen pal.
Oh, okay.
It's
so they get along in the letters.
You've got mail set back in 1935.
I like that. That's a very cool premise. That's so they detest each other in real life, but in letters they're
lovers.
That's pretty fun.
Vanessa Ballum is playing the girl, and Stefan Espinosa is playing the guy. They are, in fact, married to each other. And I'm a total sucker for that sort of thing.
Sure.
The two of them they performed together in ragtime and eventually ended up in the story in ragtime. They ended up married. But
okay.
You don't get that. You don't often see the two of them perform together. And it's charming. That's all you can say about it. It
That's
really
very
is.
cool.
It's fun. The other big news about She Loves Me, and I'm a sucker for this show. I went home and watched the 1940 movie again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But Kelsey Lindstrom is in it too. She plays a shop girl who's got hard luck. She's always falling for the wrong man, blah, blah, blah. She performs a really cute number about a visit to the library. And
oh, wow.
Basically, she seduces an ophthalmologist while she's in the library.
Okay.
And she plays it straight, and it's a cute little number, and she's really good in the role. She did the lead in Bright Star when the CTC did it.
Oh, okay.
She performed a concert version of Bright Star with from Music Theater West. She's paid her dues.
Nice.
And now she's working in the Festival Opera, and she's also been hired by the Festival Opera to be in charge of some of their educational programs.
Really?
Yeah, so it's going to be good stuff for us.
That's very cool. This is, I think, a lot on her plate.
Oh, yeah.
That is
yeah.
I'm just thinking of the time commitment alone with all of that. That's very cool.
She'll be working full time on the Festival Opera staff. So
yeah,
there'll be good things coming from her.
That's one thing that's often forgotten about the Utah Festival Opera is this isn't the performances are seasonal, and everyone thinks of 2-3 weeks in the summertime. That's our concept of it. But this is a year-round organization.
They've got a huge staff. Michael travels all over the country auditioning people all year long.
Sure. They do workshops and classes.
Absolutely.
That's kind of nice to remember that this is a year long program that also generates talent as much as finding talent and letting talent perform. So,
okay, and we also have to talk about Man of La Mancha.
Okay,
this was Michael Ballum starred in Man of La Mancha back in 2015, and very good performance. But this year, I can't explain it, but it's better.
Okay.
It's like he's more comfortable in the role. He's 7 years older.
Yeah.
Sure. He has to be a little more careful with his phrasing when he sings The Impossible Dream. He has to work on
makes sense.
Saving his breath for the high notes and all that kind of stuff. But he is marvelous.
Really?
Yes.
That is very cool. This is,
everybody's thinking, okay, does the grand old man still got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Do you think, this is, pure speculation here, but you see sometimes when someone with a reputation like his and a history like his where they just go 1 year too many. Do you think he
has not jumped the shark.
He hasn't done it yet.
And
I've always believed he is a person that won't do that because he loves this, not just being part of it himself, but the art itself. I feel like he would say, no, my time has passed.
If there's a day that he can't perform, he'll stand down. That's all there is to it.
That's how I've always felt.
Just like Vasco Call did for the lyric.
That was, and I know he was under pressure to not. A lot of people didn't want him to.
Well,
but he said, no, I need to.
He performed in Arsenic and Old Race back in 2018 or 16, something like that.
Was it that recently? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I walked out of that theater shaking my head because it was a marvelous performance.
Sure.
And not only Ballum, but the whole show. I mean, it was just, and he's got Audrey Babcock as Aldonza.
Yeah.
So marvelous. And Gary Griffin walked up to me and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "He'll still be doing this 10 years from now when you celebrate your 40th anniversary." And I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, I can see that actually. That is great. I love hearing this, that someone still got it, and in a role like this.
He's got it.
That is Man of La Mancha. Well, everything we've discussed actually. Tickets are still available for, and most of these run into August at least. So, big open window for you to get out and see these and all of the shows Utah Festival Opera has lined up. Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio, joins us every Thursday to talk theater in Cache Valley. You're welcome to join us, 753-5868. We'll be back right after this.
Cache Valley. Close to it all, but just far enough away. We've always had our own way of doing things, and we're proud of it. And our transit district is paving the way to keep that spirit alive. CVTD is forging the path to help fuel the economy, from helping your neighbor get to work to clearing up the commute time traffic. We drive the economy, and CVTD drives us. Visit cvtdbus.org for service information.
Troy Maxson is a former star in the Negro Baseball League who now works as a garbage man in 1957 in Pittsburgh. Troy was excluded from the major leagues during his prime, and his bitterness takes its toll on his relationship with his wife and his son, who now wants his own chance to play ball. Fences is a Tony Award and Pulitzer Prize winning show Purchase single show tickets or a season flex pass today at lyricrep.org. That's lyricrep.org.
This is the Sean Hannity Show.
They have drastically reduced the ability of our own energy companies to do their job, which is exploration and extraction of energy that we can bring into the open marketplace. He has artificially reduced the world supply. The demand has remained constant or even increased, and as a result, that's why we're paying record high amounts for a gallon of gasoline. This is how bad it is at this point.
Weekday afternoons from 1 to 4 on News Talk KVNU.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio. If you'd like to join us, we've got a few minutes left. If you have a comment or a question, we've been talking Utah Festival Opera, and it is, we had a caller, but we didn't get to him in time. If that was you, we have time. If you had a question, 753-5868. Charlie, this is quite a summer as far as options and things like that go. And obviously, Utah Festival Opera going to kind of be eating up all the energy and air in the room for a few weeks here, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm still, I'm still curious about this outdoor show that,
the
that they've got
Tenderlands,
planned.
yeah.
I want to see that. I
mean, think of the Copeland music you've heard, Fanfare for the Common Man.
Sure.
They're magnificent pieces of music.
Oh yeah.
So how they'll perform, it'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by that. I'm also intrigued by how well things sound. I guess with the right audio setup, you can make this sound good. But if it's a windy day, man, you got some trouble as far as acoustics go on the farm. I'm excited to see how this plays out, and I hope they have success with this so that they do more of this, because we need a big amphitheater here in Cache Valley. I don't know where it would go or how often it would be used, but
there's one on Old Main Hill.
Yeah, that's right. I saw USU student Shakespeare there once.
Really?
Yeah, and it was fun to kind of see, and they tried to make it like the old the actual amphitheaters with their decorations and everything, but man, uncomfortable.
There's that, yeah.
Not pleasant seats to sit in for a lengthy period of time.
I guess the campus Wiccans are using it now.
Are they?
Yes.
Makes sense. They got to go somewhere, right?
Yep.
That is... I'm excited about this. This is a funny one from a listener as well. A listener responding to Utah Festival Opera Talk, just saying, I have looked at the lineup over and over for 2 weeks now. I can't see them all, and I can't decide. Does Charlie have any suggestions? That would be hard.
For sheer spectacle, go see Joseph. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Okay.
It's light, it's fresh, it's bubbly, it's huge.
Makes sense.
And it's short.
Yeah, that's right. It's an hour and 20 or something.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
The other one that I would suggest is go see She Loves Me. I think that's the sleeper hit of the season.
Okay.
For dramatic effect, Carmen. For the spectacle of watching Michael Ballin perform that show again.
Yeah.
Go see Man of La Mancha. But I like Joseph, and I like She Loves Me.
That's, yeah, I think that is good advice, because it's never disappointing to see, really. It's like you said, for the spectacle.
Yeah.
But the rest, it would be hard for me to decide. I'm going with the ones I haven't seen or haven't seen a lot. That's kind of how I made my decision. But then it's going to be hard to skip Carmen, especially after your review. So, maybe I'll have to just get the credit card out. Charlie, appreciate your time. Listeners, appreciate you tuning in as well. Charlie will be back with us next Thursday at 4, but you can read his work between now and then. News stories, theater reviews, and more, including 2 new ones he has up at CashValleyDaily.com right now. You can do that until next Thursday when he joins us again. CashValleyDaily.com. Ryan Smith is trying to fire up and reactivate the USU College Republicans. Why and how he's doing it. He joins us in